It was Dan Guerin who emerged victorious at the Chicagoland Speedway Wednesday night, fending off challenges from Jake Wright, Chris Stouffer, Adam Blocker, and Big Joe Assert, amongst others. This allowed Guerin to gain some much-needed points on championship leader Jake Wright, who finished third. Wright now leads the championship by 47 points with only 4 races remaining. The race started out mirroring the championship with points leader Jake Wright on pole by a little 21 thousandths of a second over second in points Dan Guerin. Before one lap was even completed, however, the caution slowed the field for an incident between Vince Blumenthal, George Adams, and Brian Greenlee. Just as the cycle of green flag pit stops was starting on lap 71, Michael Gray got put into a death spiral on the back straight after netcode contact with Woody Mahan, causing chaos for those who had already pitted. Lap 100 and the final round of green flag pit stops hit the field. James Carhula and Big Joe Hassard opted to pit early, while Dan Guerin, Jake Wright, and Michael Goodman opted to stay out longer. Big Joe Hassard emerged from the pit cycle in the lead by 1 second over Dan Guerin, but with 10 laps older tires, Guerin would reel him in really quickly, finally passing Big Joe with 15 laps to go. The last caution of the day came out with 7 laps to go when Chris Lanini spun, trying to avoid a slowing Dustin Wardlow. That brought Big Joe Hassard and James Carhula down pit road, hoping fresh tires would allow them to get back to the front. An action-packed final restart saw Wright and Stouffer battle for second, while Blocker, Kinsella, and Weaver went 3 wide into turn 1. As they crossed the start-finish line for the white flag lap, Jason Robarge and Big Joe Hassard made contact, taking Joe Brench out with them. Ultimately, nobody and nothing could stand between Dan Guerin and the checkered flag. Guerin picked up some much-needed points on championship rival Jake Wright. Engineered to win, built to last. Nothing beats the feel of a true hydraulic braking system in the world of sim racing. HPP's hydraulic braking pedals and their accessories set the standard for simulation racing. For more info on HPP and their products, head to hppsimulation.com. And for more on the Lionheart IndyCar Series, go to lionheartracingseries.com.
The lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on and he missed the complete that. He's crazy stuff.
Side Freitas is on the grass on the infield before. He slides through. He tags Richard Eck.
Presented by First Medical Equipment, the Lionheart IndyCar Series wraps up its Midwest swing by coming here to Gateway Motorsports Park for the PlastiDipGarage.com 150. It's round 21 of 24 on the Season 5 schedule, and all the DW12 open wheel action from green flag to victory donuts can be seen live as it happens here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. From the Prairie State, welcome to the Von Hanson's Countdown to Green. Over the next 15 streamy award-worthy minutes, GSRC will furnish you with all the storylines, all the stats and facts you'll need to fully appreciate the PlastiDipGarage.com 150 that will immediately follow. Way up in the press box to bring you our bird's eye view is yours truly, Bill Soupson, joined as always by Sean Crackers Ambrose. In the production van is the best director in sim race broadcasting, Amjad Yaman, armed with cameras provided by the Ansel Adams of iRacing, GSRC's own Dougie Beard. Considered the premier fixed setup racing league for the Dallara DW12 on the iRacing service, the Lionheart IndyCar Series honors the memory of the late Dan Weldon. Now, Crackers, with only 4 races left on the schedule, the number of drivers with a mathematical chance to catch the current point leader Jake Wright is shrinking quickly. One of those still in the hunt, though, is Dan Guerin, who is the defending Gateway race winner from Season 4. So Guerin clearly knows about Gateway. How about you help out the rest of us?
Soup, before I talk about the track, let me remind you and everybody here watching this broadcast tonight, everything on the Countdown to Green show is brought to you thanks to Von Hanson's Meat Market. Yes, since 1983, Von Hansen's has delivered personalized, full service in a friendly, old-fashioned meat market environment. They offer a large and ever-expanding selection of meat products and menu ideas ranging from casual gatherings to special occasions. For more information, visit vonhansens.com. Okay, Soup, here we are. Gateway. It's been an integral part of the Midwest motorsports scene since opening its gates in 1967. Eighth mile drag strip expanded to a quarter mile in 1971. That's how this place started. But in 1985, they built a 2.6 mile road course with parts of the drag strip serving as straights on two separate parts of the circuit. Now, back in 1995, a new owner, Formula One and car promoter Chris Pook, who you explained to me was actually responsible for Long Beach as well, bought the facility and promptly tore up the road course and replaced it with a 1.25 mile oval that you see today and a 1.6 mile infield road course that exists also. This 1.25 mile oval is a favorite of many of the drivers who race there due to the unique shape and different degrees of banking in each corner. Turns 1 and 2 have characteristics similar to New Hampshire Motor Speedway, while turns 3 and 4 are a little bit similar to Phoenix International Raceway. And the track's egg shape is reminiscent of the oval at the Twin Ring Motegi. Now, we've talked a little bit about the track. Why don't we hop on board the GSRC DW12 and take a lap around Gateway Motorsports Park.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Global Sim Racing Channel. I'm Brian Yazek, taking you for a spin around the Gateway Motorsports Park in the GSRC DW12 IndyCar. So here we go. Gateway is a fun little flat track in the one end, and then with a little bit more banking off into 1 and 2 here. So as you'll see, really tight, narrow radius. Kind of find the bottom here. Don't hit those rumble strips, or this car will step out in a heartbeat. Back out towards the fence. Watch out for this little indent right there. I've seen it claim plenty of people in the public races. Turn 3 is a bit more inviting. You can really float it down to the bottom. You almost want to drive it flat out, but it just doesn't quite have enough grip for that. Back down the start-finish straight, underneath the line, back down into turn 1. Now you might see guys drift up here just a little bit to get a straighter shot off of the corner. Maybe to try to set up a pass heading off into turn 3. But turn 3 is pretty much going to be the same no matter what. Float it in here, let it find the middle bottom, straight off of the corner, off of 4, down the front straightaway, across the line, and that's going to complete your track guide around the Gateway Motorsports Park in the GSRC DW12 IndyCar. I'm Brian Yazek. Enjoy the show.
And there is a lap around the kind of obscure ovoid-shaped track here at Gateway. Now let's take a lap around the point standings, and it's important to keep in mind that these numbers do, let me emphasize that again, do reflect the results after each driver drops his 3 worst races. Okay, not a lot of action in anywhere in the top 16. You see drivers up or down a point position here or there. Your big mover, Michael Gray, dropped in the 888 machine, dropped 3 spots. But let's talk about what needs to happen for the championship to be decided or clinched here. See Jake Wright with a small point lead, about 47 points to Dandy Dan Guerin. Guerin, that's well within striking distance. Especially keep in mind, viewers, that the grand finale is a Triple Crown race at Fontana. That's worth double points. So really the maximum that you can make up, it's about 120 points. So Kinsella's probably thinking, well, if I'm within 120, I'm in the hunt at Fontana. That's not really the case, though, because Wright has what we call pocket points, where he gets to drop, even if he were not to score anything, he'd lose those 30. He still has 30 points in his pocket. So I'm really thinking Kinsella has to be somewhere within 80 points coming to that finale to really be a legitimate chance to win. Let's look at the team championships. Not a lot of movement there. Everything pretty much locked into place, and we'll bring those up in just a second. And there you see No Name Racing out in front. That's how they stand. It looks like AGR is pretty well locked into third. Hashtag Nailed is settled down in the fourth. How's that thing going before Dragonfly and Control Chaos? You know, Control Chaos falling out of the HUD, and maybe Dragonfly now only 100 points out. I didn't think Hashtag Nailed It would fall that far, but there's a chance that Dragonfly may get another position. Sean, what's going on with the rookies?
Yeah, let's look at those rookies. Now, currently, Kinsella still sits there at the top, very comfortable right now. Mike Goodman, though, closing in just a bit, just 94 points back. Ryan Otis, it's going to be tough for him to overcome the, even with the drop points factored in, overcome the races he's had to miss this season. Wardlow back there in fourth. Scott Bolster there, 358 points back. So your top five, pretty well set it. Obviously, Bolster and Wardlow have a nice little battle going on there for fourth place. So that'll be the one to watch here going forward over these next several races. And then, of course, the one between Paulson and Collins there for 6th and 7th. They're pretty well knotted up. And Travis Jagerliner not running with us, so he'll keep sliding down the board. That's your rookie standings there. Let's look at the manufacturer standings real quick. And there we're going to find Toyota still at the top. But Chevrolet, you know, they just got to win some races, Soup. They're right there for a chance to take over this Manufacturers Championship presented by First Medical Equipment. The Blue Oval, obviously, they've just got to hang on to third to make sure Mazda doesn't eclipse them. Your battles there pretty much over. Mercedes has an outside chance to maybe catch Honda and make a battle there for the top five. Tesla, of course, down in the bottom there in 7th.
You know, Tesla laid off a lot of people recently. So that's probably why they're struggling right now.
Yeah, the layoffs are really hurting that team. Yes, I agreed, Soup. Agreed. Now let's look at the money standings real quick, okay? That's going to be Jake Wright up there, just shy of $2.5 million, the clear leader in that category. Dan Guerin, the only other driver up over $2 million. Kinsella there in third. What a solid season for that rookie to have 1.7 sitting in his account right now. Michael Goodman in fourth there, 1.6. You know, another rookie right there having a great season. And James Krahula somehow shows up in the top five here. Consistency, hard work gets Krahula $1.4 million. And everybody in the top 10 here with $1 million, including Pierre Degla down there in 10th with 1.062, Sue.
Everybody happy on that chart. Okay, a testament to how strong and healthy this series really is despite the recent performances from the broadcast booth, the action on the track continues to draw new viewers to the broadcast. So, for those new viewers, let's put up the details for this series. And Crackers, how about we talk about a key point? Right now, once again, let's go ahead and start with item number 6 there, that on the list, and that is the custom fixed setups. Now, while brewing up this week's setup for the drivers to all race with, one of the ingredients in the potion used by the Lionheart setup wizards was crossweight. What the heck is crossweight?
Well, Soup, last week we talked a bit about ballast, okay? And it's the weight distribution versus the front to the back. Now, the crossweight is the weight distribution left front versus right front. Crossweight, of course, is, maybe not of course, but it is affected by ballast, spring rate, ride height, camber, caster, and tire pressures, among other variables. But the important thing is what crossweight means to the handling. Now, preloading the weight onto certain tires, the car will naturally want to turn in that direction, which is great for ovals. The more crossweight, the more the car wants to turn, so the car tends to get loose in that condition. Now, a setup with too much crossweight will start out loose and only get more loose as the run goes on and the right rear tires start to wear out. Now, on a real DW12, this would be fixed by an in-car adjustment by the driver to what we call the weight jacker. It's a mechanical way of shifting that weight. But because the Lionheart series is the greatest fixed league here on iRacing, and they run, of course, that fixed setup, this functionality is turned off, which means it's all down to the magic of the setup wizards to ensure that the car won't spin late in the run. Today, they are running, I believe it's a negative 54 pounds of crossweight, and that will keep the car stable throughout the run.
And fixed setups, this is kind of important, and I wasn't really a fan of fixed setups originally, but now I am, at least in these technical cars, because for me, what that equates to is a better show for you, the viewers, because drivers are ensured to be racing with a stable car underneath them. Now, in open setups leagues, often the drivers are lured, I think, to the dark side to race the fast setup, but that's unstable. And that results in what we here at GSRC like to call yellow fests, and what our wives like to call, is this race ever going to end? So it's kind of a good thing that we have. I'm a big fan of the fixed setup here. It makes for some great racing. Now, we should never finish this segment, Sean, without talking about the prizes. And man, the Lionheart boys, they don't scrimp on these, do they?
Oh, no. $1,800 in cash, with a league champion winning a $1,250 set of HPP pedals. The league champion will win $250 with those pedals. Total cash and prizes in the league pool totaling $3,450. Soup. Booyah! That's a big one.
I'll say. What's the weather like out there today?
It's beautiful. It's
Tonight,
partly
actually,
it's partly cloudy under this nighttime sky. It's 72 degrees on track and 72 degrees outside, and just a little bit of wind, which really won't be a factor here tonight.
Okay, man, let's get down to the specifics for the PlasticDipGarage.com 150. What's in store?
Well, they're knocking out these 2 laps of qualifying here right now, Soup. A lone qualifying effort, 120 laps tonight. Now, they've got 75% fuel on board. What does that equivalent to? About 3 stops to get this race done. Max fuel stint just at about 36 laps. I don't think you'll get away with 37 unless we have some cautions factored in. Your incident points there on screen. No fast repairs. Take care of the car here at Gateway. That's going to be a trick tonight. Cautions, yes. And when that happens, well, that means we'll restart single file just like they do in the real world of IndyCars. The points based on the standard iRacing point system.
And there you can see what the qualifying looks right now. And look who's sitting at the top. It is Jason Robarge. Good to see him up there.
Yeah, and I got to say, a 24.3 right now is where you want to be, and he is top of that. Only 6 1,000ths of a second separate him and Joe Branch, Soup.
They're trying to get in those 2 laps of qualifying. And most everybody is just about done. And you know what qualifying is just about done is time for the drivers to go racing and get to the HPP starting grid so the race can get underway. And when it is time to go sim racing, nothing beats the feel of a true hydraulic braking system from HPP Simulations. Designed and manufactured in the USA on state-of-the-art CNC equipment, HPP's hydraulic pedals and their accessories set the standard for simulation racing. For more information, please visit hppsimulations.com. Okay, I believe our qualifying is just about done. We see maybe some other... I think everything is done under the lights here. Let's go ahead and bring it up right now. We'll have plenty of time to get through it here, and it is Chris Stouffer who was able to sneak in there at the very end to nip out Jason Robarge on the front row. Crackers?
Yes, sir. Row 2 going to be Joe Branch and Tony Schowen.
Season big rookie Adam Blocker in the 5th spot inside of Michael Goodman, another rookie.
Row 4, Dandy, Dan Garrett, and Woody Mahan.
George Adams and Jake Championship Wright in 10th.
Okay, 11th, Pierre Degla, and there we go, James Scrolla. Jimmy with a good qualifying effort there.
In the Baker's Dozen spot, it's Brian Yasick. Ron Hacker flanks him.
Row 8, Justin, Bob, and Weaver, and Andrew Kinsella.
Then we get down to Peter Edwins and Matthew Mercer, 17th and 18th.
Okay, so 19th and 20th are going to be Mitchell Moeller and Bobby Mikas.
Hidden Blackjack, it's David Altman and Big Joe Hassert.
All right, row 12, Scott Bolster and Jack Bogan.
Behind them is Rory Collins and Vincent Blumenthal.
Okay, and row 14, and that can be Brandon Limpkeman and George Anzaldo.
Ed King Tutweiler didn't put in a qualifying time. We have a lot of guys down here. Bluen is here today, and that's Robert Bluen. Sean?
Okay, row 16, Soup. Well, that's going to be Scott Johnson and Chris Lanini.
Bart Workman behind him. Brian Greenlee in the 34th spot.
Newsflash, Soup. Row 18, Dustin Wardlow. And yes, me. That was an honest-to-goodness mistake. Sorry, guys. I'm not actually running in your race. I just happened to check in as a driver this evening unintentionally.
Sean, new to GSRC and the procedures, apparently, on how to actually broadcast one of these without being in the race. Let's go ahead and talk to some of the look at some of the drivers that are carrying onboards here.
Okay, we'll go to Dan Guerin first in the Barber Financial onboard camera this evening. Dan, a Team Nailed It driver, of course. And then we're going to go to Andrew Kinsella next in the PlasticDipGarage.com onboard camera. He of Adrenaline Motorsports, and that's our 2 cameras this evening. We'll look forward to riding with those guys several times this evening.
It's a beautiful night for racing here in the Midwest. You can see the stars peeking through some of the clouds that are floating by. Let's get this pace lap underway. Chris Stouffer out in front. Qualifying time of 24:3. 24:4 was the qualifying time of Jake Wright, our points leader. Right in between them, sitting in 7th, Dan Guerin with a 24:39.
Soup, I'm going to make an early prediction here.
Okay.
I like my chances tonight from the booth to win this race. So
starting back there in what would you be back there in 36? We asked for permission. Maybe you could do the first lap on board from the back of the field.
That's
but
okay. I'm
they
good.
Let that one go. All right, let's take a look at the pace car. I'm not sure if we're going around once or twice. I think we're only going around once here. So it'll be coming in this time. Sean, we got a little bit of time before we go green. Not too much. What are we looking about passing? Is it low line, high line? What's your guess?
Wherever you can get it, Soup.
Okay.
It's I gotta tell you, it's pretty tight quarters here on the track. You're gonna be two distinctive lines, the one low and the one high, and somehow you gotta find a way in between here to pick up positions. They're gonna be all over the place tonight, Soup.
150 laps. The PlastiDipGarage.com 150. And gather up the chickens, take cover behind the crowds. Chris Stouffer leads them around 1 and 2. He is well out in front. Jason Robarge drops into second. Brand, Schowen, and Blocker round out your top 5. Blocker peeking in.
And Soup, that's 120 laps tonight, 150 miles, but I'm right there with you, brother. Already back here trying to go 3 wide are Brian Yazik, Ron Hacker, and I believe that's Andrew Kinsella, in the PlastiDip.com machine.
Thanks for that correction on the laps. At least I didn't check into the race. Let's look at Blocker. On the top side, Blocker really making the top as he goes around Joe Branch. Move Blocker up to third.
It's okay, Soup. I'm low-hanging fruit tonight. I brought it on myself here.
That's all right.
Dan Guerin right up alongside Michael Goodman here. Already a good battle going on here for this 6th spot.
Right now, the top side seems to be the best as see Guerin gets a pass done on Goodman. Also, Wright's going to jump in there as well. Mahan goes around too. So falling back is Goodman.
We've got Plasti Dip Garage in the YouTube chat pulling for his drivers this evening. See if we can get them on the podium.
We got a little Plasti Dip game show if there's a lot of yellows. So hopefully we won't have to get to it. But if we need to fill under yellows, we got that lined up. So stay tuned for that. We got a blinker up on top. And I think, boy, it is Schowen is really blinking.
Yeah, and drivers are calling him out on it, letting him know kind of tough to drive around that condition. Tough to drive right now is this battle between Big Joe Hassard and Bob Mikas. This is for 17th place back here. Sometimes when these two get together on track, bad things happen. And that's what's got me worried here early in this race. Mike is able to get ahead of him a little bit right now, but Hassard's sure to fight back here unless he plays the patient game here early. It's probably the better thing to do. We are very early in this race.
And lots of pit stops to be made here. They can only go for a few laps. Sean, is it 36 laps? Is that because that's when the fuel runs out, or is that when the tires give up?
No, honestly, the tires are pretty solid throughout the run, Soup.
Okay.
It's the fuel. It's definitely the fuel.
We talked about the drivers up in the top 5. Dan Guerin has made his way into that top 5 position. We look there at Kinsella. There we go, Des Guerin. How about we run down the back half of your top 10? Jason Robarge started on the 2nd position. He's fallen back a little. Now look at this. As Robarge is now going to try to make a little move on the inside. Oh, that's Guerin. I apologize. There's some new paints out there fooling me up there a little bit.
Yeah.
Robarge gets the pass made. Dropping back in that red car, that's Tony Schowen.
Yeah, it looks like Tony's trying to make an effort to stay out of the battles right now until his connection settles down, although it does look like he's about to make a move on Robarge here. Going into turn 3, he's going to get up under him.
He gets that done. Robarge drops back into 6th in that 79 machine. That's a nice shot. I like that when you get to see the line of cars going at you. Now working on the low side. Let's see if Robarge can get that done. Out there in his Barbaro machine. We're working lap number 9 so far. Green all the way. That's a good sign. Eleventh position. This is interesting. What are you looking at there?
A mess. Yazik on the outside just getting by Ron Hacker, bringing Pierre Degla behind him. And now they're closing in on James Krahula, who just had Michael Goodman get by him. think James was giving a little back to Goodman there after having a close moment with him.
We ride on board with Have a Catch right now. There he is, racing on the 41 machine in 14th position. Remember, he sits third in the points. He's got to pick some up. Sean, what I'm looking at here is the top line seems to be the easiest one, but I've seen drivers make moves down below, is what we're seeing right now as you're looking at Ron Hacker gets it done.
He sure does. But now Degla staying committed to that top line there, and he's got the car of Andrew Kinsella right behind him, glued on him. Yeah, boy, it's got really, really tight coming out of that turn. Hacker trying to hang on. Degla got the momentum on the top side right now. He's going to take it back here, Sue.
Let's go up to third real quick. When this settles down, hang on, let's wait to see if it settles down for me. There we go. Let's report Dan Guerin has made his way around Joe Branch up into third. He is coming. Guerin qualified 7th. You do the math, he's up 4 spots. And look behind him. Here comes the car diving down low. That's that kind of obscure Marlboro colored car. Now, Sean, that car should be white and kind of orange. What color is that Marlboro car? Do you see it?
It's actually neon green and black with white lettering. It's the special alternate night scheme there for Robarsha. The yellow's out. George Adams in big trouble. Oh, and he got clipped by Big Joe Hassard, I think it was. Yeah, looks like Big Joe might have gotten a little bit of contact there in the rear end.
Well, you thought Hassard and Micus might get together. Micus was behind those guys, so it was Hassard that got into the car in front.
It looks like he just maybe gets a run at him here, and boy, I just caught him at the wrong place at the right time. It looks like George might have started to come down the track a little bit as Hassard had the run going through the turn here, and it just looks like they get together. I doubt very seriously George knew he was there.
Well, that brings up an interesting situation. About half a stint of fuel through. Are they all going to come in? Maybe some of the guys in the back decide to stay out and pick up track position? Maybe somebody like Michael Goodman?
Well, Michael Goodman is indeed on track. I hope he didn't miss where the pit stop entrance was, because it's not there near the barrels. It's all the way back in turn 3.
Well, I guess if you're going to take the road less traveled, it's good to travel it alone. And right now, as far as I can tell, he's really the only driver who stayed out. My goodness. Oh, Michael Goodman says, that's my fault. I was slowing down.
And we've got another situation with a black flag being thrown where there's confusion at the pit entry and who needs to be where. And, well, it happens sometimes, unfortunately. Now, another driver that has stayed out was Vince Bluthenthal, but we've got a car wrecking on pit road here. Trying to find out who that is.
See if we can look and find out.
Oh,
Brian
no,
Yosik had an incident.
Oh, no.
And it looks like, oh my goodness, then he got,
Got turned over, yeah.
Let's look at this one. So, as we'll ride on board with Mike, or we're looking at here, we're going to ride on board with Micus. He comes out, then he finds Yosik in front of him. That's some great camera work by our director, and that's bad news for the for a pair of cars there. Brian Yosik's machine, obviously, and the Von Hansen meat machine not going to feel too good for that one either.
Well, and that's going to cause a lot of damage to Yosik's car. It might even to the point of ending his race.
Well, I guess he can take it. So how do no fast repairs? He can take a tow back.
Right, but he's going to have to take the tow back, and he's going to have to take whatever damage that allows and knock the front end off the car. I'm concerned about Micus's car too. Now Micus is pulled in. He's got damage obviously to the front of the car. He's the one who hit him. Let's take a look at Bob's stats
while we can
here. Yeah, while we can. I'm not sure how much damage he's picked up because he is our driver profile of the week. Bob Micus there. This being let's see, his starts here in the league. He's had 41 of them. He's got 1 win in the league. That was Kentucky this season. 3 top 5s, top 10s. He's had 12 of those. His first race was at Homestead back in season 4, Bill, and having a decent season here. But you know what? A little bit tough here to have this happen so early in the race.
Yeah, we'll get him back out there at the pace. The windows, the lights are still on the pace car as we work lap number 18. I think what that did, I guess that must have extended the lights go off, so we're going to be going green this time. I wouldn't think it would have extended the yellow as it happened in pit lane off the racing line, and sure enough, this time we'll be going green. Now, what's interesting is, well, Michael Goodman, this may play out to your favor out there racing in your powered by EcoBoost machine, that red, white, and blue car out in front. You've been out there for 17 laps. Bluthenthal, at least you have a little bit of company for your misery as those 2 drivers on that long stint.
Yeah, I don't mind this move by them, to be honest with you. I really don't. I mean, track position is going to be very, very important at this track. They're gambling on another caution quick, and that's okay. They still have plenty of fuel left in the car here for a decent run, and a run that might get them to the next caution flag. And again, I'm not thoroughly opposed to this.
No.
They still got plenty of good rubber under the car.
And even if they don't get lucky with the yellow, they can come in, but there's only about maybe a 10-lap interval there that they hope that the a yellow doesn't come out after they pit. The possibility we'll see green lap pit stops from the field. Right now, working lap number 19, it is going to be Michael Goodman. Now, Bluthenthal doesn't quite have the pace that Goodman has right now, and he's under attack from Chris Stouffer. Stouffer gets that easily. Bluthenthal, I think, is going to try to do his best to stay up out of the way. Here comes Jason Robarge underneath him.
And super real quickly, Brian Yazik has taken his car behind the wall, unfortunately. So is George Adams, for that matter. Adams with some early trouble.
Honestly, that seems kind of realistic. I can't really think of a time that I've seen a IndyCar on its lid that continued the race. So that's Bluthenthal dropping back. Look at this now. Blocker, look at that yellow car of Joe Branch. What a mess going on back here for about 6th.
Yeah, it's Joe and Dan Guerin and Tony Chowan all mixed up there together. Now we've got a little bit of separation there as they come up alongside the 74 of Adam Blocker. Now Blocker starts to get away, and they kind of fall in line here going into turn 1.
For now, that line led by Vincent Bluthenthal, but here they come. Underneath them is Blocker and Branch. Bluthenthal now falls back to 5th. All this going behind Michael Goodman, who has said goodbye.
Clean air. That's what you want, Soup. On the track like this, you get that clean air. He doesn't have to worry about any loss of downforce or anything. He can just get out there and run.
Dan Guerin really in a pinata full of bees right now. They get it sorted out. Now ducking underneath him is Tony Chowan. He seems to have that internet connection problem worked out. That red car goes underneath Guerin. All the action happening back here about for 6th position. Oh, Bluthenthal gets loose, backs up into. We have a car on its lid.
Wow.
And it's Dandy Dan Guerin.
You know, I think it might have been Joe Branch moving up the track here in front of Guerin. Guerin definitely makes contact with Branch, but at the same time, you see Chowan's car is going to blink there just down below.
Yeah. I initially reported it as Bluthenthal getting loose, but really was the yellow car that had a great run. The car of Joe Branch making a great run on Bluthenthal. Then you can see he kind of has to check up.
Yeah.
And then Guerin, that's what
checks
Guerin
up right in front of Dan Guerin, unfortunately. And yeah, that's exactly what happens there.
Now we'll go on board James Krahula.
Boy, this is not going to be good for Dan Guerin at all. He so badly needed a great race, and James gets caught up in that. It's going to take heavy damage on his DW12.
We're going to look
Andrew? Yeah, go ahead, Sue.
We're going to look at Havakech Kinsella, the driver. Guerin running in 2nd in the points. Kinsella running 3rd in the points. He's caught up in this one as well. Oh, he puts it off in the grass. Does he bring it back? Oh, no, then he loses control of the car. It's like racing on ice out there. Sean, we're sad to see Dan Guerin have that trouble, but we want to give a hello to Penny, his mom. I know she's not feeling well. So Penny, Sean and I both wish you a quick recovery.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if she's able to watch this from her hospital room this evening, but if she is watching, Penny, we're certainly thinking of you, and we're holding a good thought for you. Hope you get better soon.
It'll be on the GSRC YouTube channel, so you can watch it when she gets home.
Soup, there is big craziness going on out here as I see Jake Wright has disconnected. He's had a throughput disconnection, which means his internet connection is just faded out, and it's kicked him out. Oh, and he's had a power outage, we're being told. Oh, boy.
Well, so what does that mean? Well, your points leader, the man in second and the man in third, all having trouble. Those were the only three drivers that I thought had a chance to get to the championship. Well, maybe that'll open up for some of the rest of these guys.
Yeah, now that all the mere mortals are left, maybe we can have a good race.
So here's what's happened. That yellow flag came out. That was good news for your leader, Goodman, who, remember, he was on that. He needed that pit stop, so he gets that taken care of. Although it moves him down the order a little bit. Now Blumenthal was also in that strategy, but he's okay too. He was not caught up in this, even though he was at the front of all that nonsense. He finishes in. He's racing back there in 21st right now. Let's go ahead and take this opportunity to look at the last chance bracket, if we can. The Patrick Taylor last chance bracket, something we do special here. We are on, this is what we call there's the serve and return section of the championship. And right now we're working on the quarterfinals or the semifinals. We're on the return part. And there you can see it right there. Now this is really interesting. You can see that Jake Wright had a third place finish. That's that first one out there that we had. He had that in the book. For Goodman to advance, he needs to finish on the podium and ahead of Jake Wright. Well, that's almost a certainty now with Jake Wright being out. Now down there in the other bracket, Kinsella had a win. Or I'm sorry, Guerin had a win in the first part of this round. Kinsella needed to win this race. With both those drivers being out, I feel it's safe to say that Guerin is going to advance. So Guerin moves on to the finals. And will he meet up with Jake Wright, or can Michael Goodman get a podium and advance to the finals? That's something that keeps the memory of Patrick Taylor alive there. That's your memorial tournament for Season 5. That's something extra we do.
Well, Soup, that caution brought out a lot of craziness. The field has really shifted a lot since then, and we're going to restart this race here. And when we do, Brandon Limkeman is going to restart in 6th place. 21 spots. He's made it through the field already here. On pace with everybody else with that one pit stop.
Top 16 drivers all on this recent pit strategy, out there for 11 laps, although much of it has been under yellow. Then about a little bit fresher tires, you get down to, we talked about it before, Goodman and Blumenthal. Okay, it is Chris Stouffer, leading them down into the first corner. Jason Robarge in second, Adam Blocker, Tony Schowen, and a battle for 5th back there. And it looks like it's going to be the man in the fire and ice machine, Brandon Limkeman, going to get 5th place as he gets around Mercer. I heard it's been Big Joe Hassert got loose.
Yep. Yeah, he did. Got loose all by himself there. And
Bart
unfortunately,
Workman got into him.
Yeah. Poor Bart Workman's going to get collected there with him.
Brian Greenlee somehow got through that.
Wow.
We'll take a look. He might have just picked up a little bit. The cars just happened to spin out of the way. And right now it is easy being green. Watch this. Get out of the way. I'm coming through.
You know, and Big Joe Hassert's car mysteriously He couldn't have gone into the Twilight Zone.
Well,
That car-
remember, that
but
was
that-
the second incident, though.
Yeah, but that car disappeared while it was spinning, and I wonder. No, he couldn't have got DQ'd.
What we'll do right now on the Global Sim Racing channel, we'll take a short break. We'll be back before we go green. Presented by First Medical Equipment. Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing channel's coverage of the PlastiDipGarage.com 150 from Gateway Motorsports Park. And Sean, while we are back and our viewers are back, a lot of the drivers are not back. We've lost a few.
Boy, there's been some attrition tonight, Sue. Big Joe Hassard is now out of this race. Jake Wright is out of this race. Dan Guerin, Andrew Kinsella, Woody Mahan, James Krahula, David Altman, Brian Yazik, and George Adams, all officially out of this race. Now, on a lighter note,
Okay.
if you go to PlastiDipGarage.com, they do have a sale on T-shirts right now for $15 a shirt. All the money raised will go towards buying a hydro dipping tank, and that way they'll be able to dip even cooler things like, well, bananas. That's what I'm being told. They'll dip bananas for you.
I believe part of that. I don't know about the hydro dipping tank, but cool. I like that. Hey, we also have some. We also have a little game show around one of our sponsors, PlastiDip.com. I know all of their drivers have gone, so I'm not sure if any of their fans are still watching. But stick around to the next yellow. We'll try to get it in for you. As we always like to help out the sponsors whenever we can. Right now, we are working lap number. They'll be not lap number 33 when they cross the line, and it is Chris Stouffer out in front. Jason Robarge, Adam Blocker, almost called him Dan, did it again. Tony Schowen and Brandon Linkeman. Once again, up front, they sort out nicely. Little bit tougher back. Mercer in 6, Bolster, Edwins, Johnson, and Hacker.
Looks like the first one to try and make a move back here was Dustin Wardlow. Now he's got to worry about Mitchell Moeller. Has found his rear wing. Moeller looks to go to the inside here, going into 1. And he's going to back off just a bit.
Now, I can report that Michael Goodman came in that stop. Now, I want to make sure he's still racing on the lead lap. He is, indeed. So he came in and topped off. So he's going to be able to go a lot longer than these guys. Remember, he was back in the back because of that initial mistake he made on the very first yellow flag. So right now he's racing in 22nd position. Nice battle here that we're looking at with Rory Collins in the blue car up on top.
Boy.
Down,
Oh, boy.
To get right in front of Weaver.
Yeah, Pierre Degla got to be really careful there. He was in real precarious position, battle for the lead.
And it is Stouffer trying to fend off. Oh, Rabarge is dropping position now. He made the attack. He falls back. That opens it up for Adam Blocker racing in second. Those three drivers beginning to pull away. They've got about a 1.5 second, a 1.25 second lead on Brandon Lipkeman for fourth. But right now, those three cars up in front, they are the three amigos, Stouffer, Blocker, and Rabarge. As long as the pace is good, fellas, just find somebody to follow and see if you can put in some miles.
Yeah, right now that's what it's got to be about here. Let's put in some miles, guys, and try and get to a green flag caution would go a long way. Michael Goodman continuing to move up through the field, Soup. He is now up to 20th. He's cracked the top 20 on this recovery drive he's got going on here.
Yeah, he's got some easy picking back there with some low-hanging fruit. That'll slow down as he moves a little bit farther up into the field. Oh, let's go to Ed Tutwiler. No caution for Tutwiler.
And he spins it all by himself coming out of turn 2. And he takes the toe in.
Guess the iRacing automated stewards thought he was off the racing line, and maybe I agree with him as he's down low. All depends how much sleep those automated racing stewards get each night.
Showen going up to 4th, Soup, getting under Brandon Lipkeman and pulling off the pass. Pulling away down the backstretch.
Yeah, and he is coming. He's been coming for a while. I think he probably has the pace. Let's give you an interval. 1.8 seconds from Rabarge back to that red car of Tony Showen. Now that he has his internet connection sorted out, he's starting to make a move. Look for a little battle a little farther back. Oh, let's go back to this hornet's nest back here again. How about the yellow car of Joe Branch? He's out in front. Top side is Hacker. Down on the low side, that is Justin Weaver.
Justin Weaver and the Moby Dickies DW12 hanging in there on the inside, right there with Bluthenthal. Both cars, same colors.
And they run up on the back of Bob Mikas there as the yellow car of
it's Branch. Branch and Mikas, yep. Now
But
Mikas is actually able to clear that.
Sorry, my screen went blank there on me. Up! Bluthenthal.
Yeah. Boy, Bluthenthal and the Cartoon Network machine there, Brian Greenlee, get into it. Greenlee, Bluthenthal opens the door a little bit there for Greenlee. And Greenlee's car, maybe just a little bit of push there. Just a little bit of contact with the side pod. That's all it took.
That was the Lowe's car of Robert Bluen that managed to make it through. We're going to ride on board with Brian Greenlee. And they get together, and not sure if there's enough damage there from... Greenlee might be able to keep going.
I think both are going to get away with a minimal amount of damage here. Greenlee looks to maybe have gotten the worst of that. Some rear wing damage and some damage to the front wing. Both repairable. Bluthenthal, on the other hand, I don't see any real major damage on the car.
So the majority of the field decides to come in. There's always one oddball out there, and right now that is Peter Edwins as he's decided to stay out. Jack Bogan going to stay out there as well.
Peter Edwins in the DirtyBlinds.com DW12. One of your favorite sponsors there, Sue.
not going to get into it. I've been told to be nice to the sponsor, so I still question the name of that. Okay, Sean, here we go. Now, talk about dirty blinds. Before the contract was signed between Lionheart and GSRC to broadcast season 5, I was personally advised / warned not to ad-lib sponsor plugs. But, however, nothing was mentioned about sponsor talk used during the yellow flag filler material. So, here's what we got. All right, understand? So, since this is the PlasticDipGarage.com 150, even though all their drivers are out, I do have this game that we come up with now. Ready? Now, Plastic Dip is a rubber-based paint for your car. It sprays on like paint, and it peels off like vinyl wrap. It's also more affordable than vinyl wrap. And there are, get this, 141 colors. So, Sean, what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you 4 colors. You're going to tell me which one is not a real one, okay?
Oh, boy.
Which color is it? Here we go.
All right.
First one we have, this one involves precious gems and metals. All right, here we go. Ruby red, sapphire blue, quicksilver, trump gold.
All right, Soup. Come on now. Boy, I'm going to go out on a limb and say Trump Gold.
No, you are wrong. I fooled you with that one. Trump gold is an actual color. Color number 134. Quicksilver.
Really?
Yes, quicksilver, not one. Okay, well, you failed on that one. But
I did. I failed miserably.
I got 2 more of these for you. Okay, this one might be a little easier here. Okay, this time it's about like taking a kid to the carnival, okay? Candy apple red, cotton candy blue, grape soda, puke green.
Grape soda.
No, you're wrong again. That time it was the obvious one. Nobody was going to name their color that green color. So now you're 0 for 2. All right.
I guess selling puke green is going to be kind of tough. Yeah. I get that. Okay.
All right. This is the last one here again. This one now, we're going to the solar system for this one, okay? Here are their colors.
All right.
Terra orange. You know, Terra, another name for Earth. So Terra orange, Martian red, Saturn yellow, Uranus brown.
Can I call a friend on that? I'm gonna go with Uranus brown, and I'm never gonna say it again.
It's a Uranus. We're told it's a proper pronunciation there, and of course that is methane gas on the Uranian atmosphere absorbs the red light, leaving the planet a beautiful blue-green color. So clearly, Sean knows his sign. Yes, that is the correct one. So there you go. If you'd like to see all the colors, all 141 of them, go to PlasticDipGarage.com.
And that's Soup. See him at a local comedy club near you. 2 shows nightly. That was great, Soup.
I've enjoyed my time here on GSRC. If I'm not back next week, I enjoy who's ever taken over the reins. The lights are off on the pace car. That means we're going green.
That's going to take me a second to recover from that one, man.
Peter Edwin's our leader out in front. Jack Bogan, of course, these guys are on longer stops. They've been going for 30 laps, so they're going to need to come in somewhere, if our numbers are correct, somewhere in the next 6 or 7 laps. Peter Edwin takes them across as he is working lap 47 of 120. 150 miles here on this 1.25-mile racetrack in America's heartland. Jack Bogan in second, but that car has not had the pace all night. I think he's going to be easy pickings for Chris Stouffer, and sure enough, Stouffer gets underneath him. How about a double dip as he takes 2?
Back here, Pierre Degla making big gains. He gets by Dustin Wardlow real quick, and now trying to make quick work here of Scott Bolster. This is all here to get into the top 10. Degla holding it down. Bolster holding that position there in 9th. George and Zotto right up on Dustin Wardlow. It's a good 4-car battle to get on this restart.
I'm going to steal it away from him for a minute. We got to go up to second position. We have a tight battle going on. The slow car up on top, that is Peter Edwins. Now, just getting underneath is Jack Bogan. Remember, Bogan is also a little bit off pace. So those guys continue to fight, and that's going to, oh, careful there. And that is the familiar color, that black and green car of Jason Robards gets underneath them. Whew, Adam Blocker gets in there as well.
Boy, oh boy.
Well, that's what happens when you have 2 cars that are off pace racing side by side up front. Of course, all of this going on behind the leader of Chris Stouffer, who is checked out, but a lot of racing to go. Robarge now, Blocker is clear. Limp coming into 4th. Here comes a car that could be good. Keep an eye on Tony Schowen. He's got that internet figured out, and the car's been good. If he can get some green flag runs, he'll make a move up there. Bogan drops back to 6th position. Mercer in 7th.
Oh, boy. Close moment there. Dead Tutwiler's disappeared from the screen. I'm sorry, Pete Edwins disappears from the screen, Sue. There was contact between him and Degla, and I think that might have been another trip to the Twilight Zone.
Do.
Wow.
He stayed out there. He stayed out to stay out of trouble. Get up front with some clean air in front of you. That's how it worked out. Right now, we continue to look at the battle for Ford. Look at him coming at you.
And that's a shame for Edwins.
It was, yeah.
That was a shame for Edwins because it was Degla that initiated the contact, and that sends him out of the race. Look at this soup, just a hornet's nest of cars in several spots on the track right now.
They sorted out up front a little bit. Now let's go back. This is Degla, who's looking at 2 cars going at it. That's the Candyman, Dustin Wardlow down below, and Jack Bogan up on top.
Degla got to be careful here.
Oh, I'm hearing some. Are we okay? I heard some banging going on, but I guess we're all right.
Yeah, we're all good.
You start to wonder when you saw the internet connections that some of the guys were having and the quick departure of Big Joe Hazard. You start to worry that maybe it's not all incident related. Let's go back up to 2nd position again as this is heating up. Robarge on the top side. Brandon Limpkeman in the Fire and Ice Machine. This is for 3rd position. Limpkeman down low. You get a good bite in on the low side, but then you just don't get the drive off top. They continue side by side. Let's see how this plays out. Unless we go 3 wide, there is Tony Schowen looking for a way around in the red machine. Again, the low car underneath Limpkeman. And Schowen says, that looks like a good idea. I think I'll try that line as well.
Soup, I'm continuing to watch the field's progress getting around Jack Bogan, and I got to tell you, it's been a little scary here. There have been some tense moments. Scott Bolster now trying to take him down. Bob Mike has just got around him. Now it's George Anzalo and Joe Branch there backed up just behind him. Now Bolster's going to try and come up alongside, and, Jack kind of closes the door on him a little bit there. Now Bolster screams down to the inside, but loses momentum when he does that. Bogan runs up the hill a bit, keeps it off the wall. Here comes George Anzaldo.
You know, in Bogan's defense, he qualified 24th. He's racing on 41-lap-old tires. So, yeah, he's doing a good job. So far, this has played off for him. What he would like now is a yellow flag. These guys have been out there for about 14 laps. If a yellow flag would come now, he really needs to communicate, though, to Degla that he's going to be coming in soon. Degla and Bolster and Micah's behind him. I'm assuming Jack's going to be coming in fairly soon. My goodness. Let's stay on it one more time. He's not going to be able to come in this time as he's pinned to the top side as Daigle gets underneath him.
Yeah, and he's got to start his way in a lot sooner than that.
Yeah, here comes
Jack 43 laps on this set of tires and fuel right now.
Sean, we've been doing this long enough. We just kind of get a feeling in your stomach here.
Oh, boy, that was a really close moment between Joe Branch and Workman there. I'm sorry, Justin Weaver. Now Branch up alongside Anzaldo, trying to hang on. Anzaldo gets just a piece of the wall there coming out of turn 4.
Oh, this is some intense stuff going on back here. Now Bogan on the top side. Bolster not able to get anything done on him. He loses a lot of momentum. Here comes George Anzaldo in the 6th machine. Going underneath, a pass for 12th. There you have it. Oh, but George gets loose, and so fighting back is Bolster. Bogan stays out again. Bogan now pestering Bob Micahs for 9th. That doesn't pay off.
Nope, not. No, Bolster pestering Micahs for 9th there. Yeah, Branch just went 3-ride, pulled off the pass on Anzaldo and Bogan there, and now that brings along Justin Weaver with those guys. Watch out, here comes Scott Johnson moving through the field, up 17 spots. Yeah.
So let me set the stage for you. In ninth, Bob Mikas, Scott Bolster behind him, Jack Bogan, who's got to come in anytime. Then look at this. There's a nonsense going on back here on the top side. That's Anzaldo, Joe Branch, and the Pennzoil car underneath. Keep the car going straight. Now Jack Bogan announcing something over the microphone. I'm probably going to guess it says, I'm coming in next time. And here the good news is if he can get in before the train catches him. And he's in.
Okay, Soup. This one's heating up just a little bit here between Showen and Robarge. Showen getting the better of it right now in fourth. That's exactly where he started, but Robarge was looking there to pick a little bit up, and that last lap, actually, Showen was a little bit faster. Robarge, though, car still looks good, being kind of patient with it. Dustin Wardlow back there in sixth. Soup, you remember where Dustin Wardlow started in this field?
35th?
Yeah, the last car, and right now he's in this fight.
Well, no, Sean, he wasn't the last car.
Yeah, Soup. Yeah, I realized that. He was the last car on the grid, Soup.
Okay, all right, because there
Right.
was another name under him, but go ahead.
Yeah, there was a 36 car. Yes, Soup, there was. But it never was pulled out of the garage, okay, Soup, just to be clear.
Yeah, Dustin Wardlow having a good race, so that's good. Of course, we call him the Candy Man for his association with Dwarves Candy.
And his generosity, yes.
Oh, yes. Good time of the year business-wise coming up for Dwarves with Halloween in the works. Honestly, that candy too good to give out to the trick-or-treaters. You go out, buy yourself some Dwarves candy. You can get it online. They'll mail it to you. You keep that for yourself.
I would give
kids
kids a Dwarves business card as their
that would be a
treat.
good idea.
Yeah.
Work
Take
and
this
lap
home.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, take this home, give it to your parents, tell them to order a bunch.
Working lap number 58. About 23 laps for the drivers right now that are racing. All that action going on behind Chris Stouffer, who's almost 3 seconds ahead of Adam Blocker.
Soup, Justin Weaver, George Anzalo, and Scott Johnson have got a good little tussle going on here. It is Justin Weaver, though, that's still able to hold him off. George Anzalo trying to get a run at him, going into 3. Whoa, that was close. Woo. George got back out of it just a bit there.
Going to lose a lot of momentum. Let's see if Scott Johnson wants to get into the play with him. Sean, we've done a lot of these. You can start to feel things settling down. The driver's getting the feel for it. I think we're going to be looking at some green flag pit stops here.
Oh, soon, indeed. Bob Mikas just had a really, really close moment in front of Scott Johnson up here up the track a little bit. He gets a piece of the wall coming out of turn 2 it was. He recovers, but Joe Branch is going side by side with Scott Bolster right now. Bolster continuing to pick up spots. He now finds himself in the top 10.
Now remember, this is fixed setups. They are specially made for this race, but the cars start to get a little squirrely as the tires wear off, the fuel gets lighter. 50 laps to go.
Really?
That's what it says on the well,
Well,
71 to 20. Maybe my math's wrong, but I think I'm pretty close.
Yeah, it looks like Pierre Degla is going to be the trendsetter here, Soup. I heard him call up for his pit.
First one to bite. Probably not a bad idea if the stops were coming. Get on in, get on out before pit lane gets busy. We can look at our hard charger. I believe it was Sean's Dustin Wardlow up 29 spots. Those are legitimate. Everyone on the same pit strategy right now. Sean, I got to admit, with all the big names out of it, it's kind of fun here to call one of these. We don't know who's going to win this one.
No, we really don't. It's really up for grabs, isn't it, Soup? I mean, Stouffer is setting the tone right now, but listen, he's got a very tough pit lane to get into and out of, and anything could happen behind him at this point. We've already had several situations of anything happening, so This race far from over. Look at this move right now. Schowen side by side with Jason Robarge. Robarge presented his opportunity to take that spot away, and then Robarge falls back just a little bit and allows Schowen to keep the position there.
Now, Schoen qualified 4th. Robarge qualified 2nd, so those are still very fast drivers. Ed Tutwiler, that's the car on top there, getting around. I'm not quite sure why Robarge wanted to make that so exciting, but he runs up right on the back of Tutwiler before he comes down.
Yeah, and Ed out here just turning laps here at this point, trying to maintain some points in this championship. Car is still off pace.
Limpkeman gets around Blocker, moves up into 2nd.
Boy, I don't know if we've talked about Limpkeman enough here tonight, Soup. He is having a great run. He started 27th and has continued to hold serve here up at the top of the field.
Yeah, made a legitimate pass there. He's got around Blocker and beginning to pull away. Let's go back to 4th position. This is Robarge being challenged, or making the move here on Schowen underneath. Schowen's going to fend him off. Honestly, boys, just take it easy here. The stops are coming in the next, probably the next 5 laps. They've gone 34, but some of those have been under yellow, so they could probably go maybe 38. We'll see. Keep in mind that Daigle came in. He was the only guy that was legitimately running with these guys. Came in very early. Pierre now 1 lap down, racing in 21st.
Soup, but you remember Jack Bogan went into the pit. Guess what? He never came out, unfortunately. I don't know exactly what happened there, but Jack is now taking his car behind the wall.
Oh, let's go to 2nd. This is heating up here. Limpkeman in the Fire and Ice Machine on the low side. The blue car, that's Dan Blocker. Watching the whole thing, the familiar red machine is showing. We right off the back of Limpkeman.
Yeah, Adam Blocker running up the track there. Got to be careful. Here comes Tony Schowen, Jason Robarge. Blocker almost getting a little bit of contact with the ball, and Schowen's in.
Yeah, he's had enough
careful,
of that one.
He's in the grass. He's in the grass. Schowen's in the grass. He's got to be careful here. Get this car slowed down.
He gets it back onto the thin piece of ribboned concrete. I think he's going to be okay. Now we start hearing air traffic control. They're all coming. Stouffer is in. Limpkeman is in. Blocker is in. Robarge is in. Wardlow is in. They're all coming.
Yeah, they really are. And a busy pit road means everybody's got to be very careful here.
Joe Branch stays out to go 1 extra lap.
It was Bob Mikas getting in the pit lane there.
Look at him come in.
Yeah, and almost made contact there with the Skull Bandit.
We're looking there. That's Stouffer sitting behind the pace car. He was leading, and it looks like he's going to be first out. Now Branch comes in from the yellow car. He was leading. Adam Blocker is going to be second out of pit lane. Robarge, Wardlow able to get around Mercer. This is everybody pitting with, oh my goodness, 38 laps to go for Branch.
Okay, now Pierre Daigle is Soup coming around. He gets back on the lead lap here, and he's going to go all the way up to 2nd place. Daigle now, he pit early here. He can get this race done on 1 more stop right now. But, here's the deal. I think the rest of the field can get this race done without a stop. Everybody that just came in. It's going to be really, really close. Now, caution flag would change everything.
Yellow would help, certainly. If fuel is an issue, the driver with the best chance of doing it, well, the last car in to pit that is still in the hunt, it's Michael Goodman. Weaver as well. they'll have the shortest fuel stint to go. Okay, Sean, fixed setups, which means you don't get to play with the magic knob to dial down the fuel mixture. If you're going to save fuel, you got to do it just like you and I do, right? With the right foot?
Exactly, Soup. Yeah. Got to save it with the right foot. Maybe sixth gear will help you a little bit, but not much, to be honest with you. You got to do it with the right foot. Showen and Wardlow with a very, very tight battle here on track. This is for fourth place, and Robarge is right there. These three locked up, going across the line.
Showen in fourth, Wardlow and Robarge. Now, Daigle is in the mix here. Daigle's racing up in second. I don't really think he factors in, though. We know he has to stop one more time. And honestly, I think Stouffer has to go one more time as well. He'll have to go 39 laps. Guys that might have the best chance to get there again. Justin Weaver, possibly. Joe Branch. These guys all came in a lap later. If fuel is an issue. Sean, you can save fuel, but you still have to go fast enough to stay ahead of the competitors. So
Right, exactly. That's key, isn't it?
So as things settle down, why don't we take a run through the field here? We'll do them 5 at a time.
Okay, buddy.
Out in front, Chris Stouffer, leading by 3.8 seconds over Pierre Nightingale. Now we think Daigle has to come in for a stop. Daigle coming off a great result last time out in Chicagoland. He's about 0.3 of a second ahead of the blue car you see right there, Adam Blocker, looking right at him. Then Blocker's got about 2-second gap to the Candyman, Dustin Wardlow, racing in fourth. Well, he's in fourth right now, but before I finish this, Tony Showen might have something to say about it as he races back in fifth. Sean?
All right, Jason Robarge holding down sixth right now, Soup. But it's the driver and Brandon Lemkeman who's really got a heck of a drive going on this evening. Air in seventh. Let's look at this battle, though, that's going on back here for 8th, 9th, and 10th. Matthew Mercer, Joe Branch, and Justin Weaver all tied up. Weaver been in fights all night on this track. Did a great job of staying out of trouble. Pierre Daigle making his call to come in now, Soup.
There you go. So he'll be good to go. So if we get all the way back to Weaver in 10th, we have a few more cars still on the lead lap. Let's go back to 11th. Bob Mikas in the Von Hansen's meat machine out there, but he's going to be passed right now. Here comes Michael Goodman. Remember, he qualified 6th, got caught out early by a mistake on pit road. That very first yellow flag has been trying to make it up ever since. Move Goodman up into 10th position now with Daigle coming in. Bob Mikas now in 11th. Chris Lanini in 12th. Lanini has made 2 stops. He'll need to go one more time. Scott Johnson in 13th. He's got about 5 seconds back to the driver in 14th. We haven't heard much from him, Ron Hacker. And then I'll just finish out these last 2 on the lead lap. Mitchell Moeller in the car number 2. And Rory Collins a little bit behind him. 16 cars on the lead lap. There you have it.
Rory Collins and that Honda looking for a sponsor, Soup. It's a very unsponsored machine out here this evening. Keeping it simple. Maybe simple's fast. Rory's picked up 9 where he's at right now.
Look at this battle.
Weaver,
Yeah.
just getting around. Justin Weaver gets around Joe Branch right there. And they're still going at it across the line. Oh, Branch with great momentum. Honestly, Soup, in these turns, especially turns 1 and 2, that higher line, you can get a little bit of an advantage of the driver down below. And Joe gets great momentum down the backstretch, able to clear him.
Yep. Now we're looking at, we ride on board with Tony Showen in 5th place, trying to run down that obscurely painted Marlboro car ahead of him, of Jason Robarge. 25 laps to go, Sean. I can't do it yet because it's not time to boogie if there's a pit stop involved, right? I mean, we gotta wait, right?
Yeah, we gotta wait.
Maybe there isn't a pit stop though.
I possibly a slow dance, even as our director suggests.
Good job, object.
It's time to slow dance. There we go. Everybody skate. All skate. Hey, one notable absence from this field this evening, and not just the drivers we've lost, but I think we'd be remiss if we didn't mention that Jason Galvin is not here this evening, Soup. And do you want to know why?
I do want to know why.
Because he's at the World Series.
Oh, well,
right where a
reason.
TV guy should be.
Didn't know the Bakersfield Drillers had made the World Series. Oh, he's a Dodger fan there. Okay.
Well, he's hanging out with his old friend Vin Scully tonight, who is there at the game, of course, not calling it, unfortunately, but there at the game. And I know Jason, a huge fan of Vin's and Dodger baseball. So good luck to the Dodgers tonight in their pursuit of win number 2.
Just quickly talk about Vin Scully. Everybody and his brother wanted Vin Scully to come on in and call an inning or two. And in classic Vin Scully said, I really don't belong. That's just how Vin is, if you've known him. So,
Soup, I would love to have him come in and call
I knew
a race.
You were going to go
kidding
there,
me?
yeah.
Jeez. He could call the phone book and I'd be excited.
It would go something like this. Blocker gets around Anzaldo. So, when I was back talking to Pee Wee Reese, Wardlow making a move on Blumenthal, I said to him, Pee Wee.
Yeah, big stuff going back on here. Matthew Mercer getting into 7th. Weaver and Joe Branch going in and out. Branch is trying to get by Weaver. Joe had a great qualifying effort. He's managed to keep himself in the top 10. Got to hang on for just a few more laps here, Joe. And look at Michael Goodman back there, Soup. Goodman has recovered to get himself into the top 10. Is there more ahead for that driver?
I'm going to give you a number that might be important. 40.79 seconds. That's the interval from Stouffer to Degla. You cannot forget about Pierre Degla. If there are stops to be made from everybody, remember Degla was racing in second when he had to come in. If everybody has to come in, I don't think that's the case, but if they all do, watch out for Pierre. Degla right now 1 lap down, racing in, what would that be, 20th position. You know, Sean, maybe lap times would tell us if these guys are conserving. Let's take a look at our leader's lap time from the beginning of the race. He was running about 24.7s, 24.6s. What's he running now? 25.1, 25.1, 25.1.
Yeah.
Saving fuel?
I don't know, Soup. I don't know if anybody's really trying to... Boy. Man, do you want to win this race? I think you got to stay in the throttle and just keep going and let the chips fall where they may. I think everybody was maybe gambling on a caution flag, so if one has to pit, I'm going to assume that all of them have to pit at some point.
Looking there in that battle with Robarge and Schowen. Schowen racing now in 5th in the red car, trying to come back on him. Well, maybe some of the drivers are using my technique for saving fuel, and that's to go really fast to get there before you run out of gas. Never worked for me, but could be working right now.
Could be
right on board with Robarge. You know, there's been a couple guys that seem to be fighting all race, and it's been Schowen and Robarge been going at it. The other combination, are they still racing? Sure enough, it's been Branch and Weaver. They seem to can't get away from each other either as we ride on board with Robarge. Now another sleeper as you look at Weaver. Right behind Weaver is Michael Goodman. Goodman was fast. He was racing up front and got caught out as he made a mistake when the first yellow. He's been trying to make up for it the entire race, racing in 10th right now. And Bob Mikus just banged it off the wall, but the car continues to go straight. Mikus was racing in 11th. He gives up a position to Chris Lanini. This one kind of hurt.
Yeah, and as was pointed out to us by one of the drivers in the chat, just knocking that toe out a little bit slows you down significantly, Soup.
We'll see it right now. He's going to come up and you'll see the car just get away from him.
Yeah, it's going to result in a pit form. Oh, Matthew, you know what? Matthew Mercer just made a call to come in the pits.
Okay. And Mikus has come in. Schowen has made his stop.
So I think we've got a couple drivers maybe getting a little bit nervous here with 10 laps to go here when they come by.
Keep a mark on your clip, boys and girls. Pierre Degla. He's now in 18th position. He'll be picking up spots when these guys come in.
Boy, Vincent Blumenthal almost wiped out George and Saldo as they were getting to the turn. Vince does a great job of checking up. George just behind Jason Robards right now. And it's not for position. It is between Anzaldo and Blumenthal.
They're working with 9 to go. Justin Weaver, the possibility of going the distance. He has 1 extra lap of fuel than Stouffer. Another driver in that position is Blocker. Joe Branch makes a pass. He moves up into 6th, gets around the fire and ice machine to Brandon, into 5th, around Lincoln. Lincoln looking to fight back. Right behind those guys are Degla, a car coming out of the pits. That's Bob Mikus. That was mainly for repairs, I believe. But look at Degla. He's a lap down now. But he's going to make this. He's racing right now, Chris Stouffer, even though Chris Stouffer is a lap and a half ahead of him.
I'll tell you what, Stouffer might be trying to save fuel now. I mean, he's got almost a 7-second advantage on Blocker. Soup, I don't like what's happening here, though. We've got 6 laps to go, and he's got 33 laps on that tank. I don't think you can go 39, green flag. 36, possibly 37. But we've already had a couple drivers chime in and say 36 was as much as they got.
Okay. Well, Stouffer out now is 34 with 5 to go. The gap between Stouffer and Degla, last time I told you it was 40 seconds. It is still 40 seconds. But right now, Stouffer has 7-second cushion on Blocker. George Anzaldo says this time by. Jason Robarge, I think, is coming in.
Soup.
Adam Blocker comes in from 2nd.
Yeah, it's not going to work out for these guys, Soup. They know it. They need a splash and go. Splash and go is the call here.
I want to focus right now on Pierre Degla in relationship to Blocker. This could be the race. Degla coming across right now. Now he's back on the lead lap. Where is Blocker? Degla working away in the last time. Blocker has come in. He's in a stall now.
Degla in the middle of turns 3 and 4. Getting out of 4 now. Here he comes. Out of 4 onto the front stretch.
And if I've got it calculated, that it's on the pit exit lane in the blue car is Blocker. And there goes Degla. Now remember, Degla was about 7 seconds, or Blocker was about 7 seconds back of Degla.
Stouffer is in.
All right,
Stouffer
here we
is
go.
in. He's coming down pit lane.
Coming down pit lane, Stouffer just going into corner number 1 right now. Sorry, Degla just going into the corner number 1. Stouffer in his box. Out of his box is Stouffer. Degla just coming out of 4. I think Stouffer is safe.
Soup. Could we have a first-time winner this evening? Could it be Pierre Dagla?
All this going on as
Oh.
Joe Branch is on the white flag lap. He's trying to make it
Oh,
work.
Bolster's out of fuel. Bolster is out of fuel.
But Joe Branch coming around 4. He can coast it from here. He steals one. Joe Branch wins the Plastic Dip Garage.com 150. Going 38 laps on a tank of fuel. Michael Goodman is second, doing the same.
Wow. And Christopher going to come home in third. That is 2 Indiana drivers on the podium with Michael Goodman, the New York driver, there in the middle. Wow. That winds up being a fuel mileage race there at the end.
I believe it was able to go one more lap before he came in for that final stop, and that was the lap he needed. Joe Branch wins it here at Gateway. The racing is over in the Midwest, but our broadcast is far from it. What we're going to do right now is take a short break, but we'll be back in a few to launch into the Lock Precision Rocketry post-race show, where we'll run down the entire finishing order, talk to some of the drivers before we put a lock on the gate. Back in a few. Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of the plastidip.com 150 from Gateway. Now, we're good. Oh, that's all right. Let's get to the right part of the script here. Thank you. All right, there we said where we are. Now, a Plastic Dip, they have 141 available colors offered from Plastic Dip, and one of those colors is Yellow Submarine, which segues into 2017 being the 50th anniversary of the greatest album in rock and roll history, the Beatles' classic Sgt. Pepper Lonely Heart Club Band, which entails another segue into it was 30 years ago today, give or take a few years and days, that Lock Precision became synonymous with mid to high-powered rocketry. Lock Precision manufactures a full line of high-quality, precision-fit components to meet your building, repairing, and customizing needs. For more information, please visit lockprecision.com. And remember, fly hard, fly safe, fly lock. Took me a while to get there, but I got the plug in. Okay, let's get to the standings. Where was Joe Branch? 51 races under belt, picks up his second win. He had one earlier at Milwaukee, picks up the second one here. A great fuel strategy as he goes 38 laps on a tank of fuel to still one. Doing the same strategy was Michael Goodman, who finishes second. Not only does he finish second, but he knocks Jake Wright out of the bracket. So Michael Goodman will move on to the last chance bracket final round. Chris Stouffer is going to finish third. Another driver on the same strategy as Branch and Goodman was Rory Collins. He comes home fourth. Our eyes were focused on Pierre Degla. He finishes on the lead lap in fifth. All the other drivers are one or more laps down. Justin Weaver, Adam Blocker, the Candyman Dustin Wardlow, Tony Showen, and rounding out the top 10, Brandon Lincoln. Sean?
Ooh, let me take 11 and 20 here. Jason Robarge, he'll finish 11th tonight. Matthew Mercer with a 12th place finish. Robert Bluen going to come out okay. Robert spent a lot of this race running at the back, and he does manage to finish 13th. Good on him. Chris Lanini, 14th. 15th. Going to go to Scott Johnson, Scott Bolster in 16th, Ron Hacker with a 17th place finish, and you got Mitchell Moeller down there in 18th. Vincent Blumenthal going to bring the car home tonight in 19th. Bob Mikus, Von Hansen's Meat.com, DW12 going to finish there in 20th.
Hidden Blackjack, George Anzaldo, Ed Tupweiler, Jack Bogan, Peter Edwards, Bart Workman. All these guys ran into trouble. Brian Not Easy being Greenlee. Big Joe Hassard went to the Twilight Zone. Our points leader, Jake Wright, in 28th. The man in third in the points, Andrew Kinsella, in 29th. Dan Guerin in 30th. All those guys score minimal points. In fact, they may actually use some of their drop insurance. It'll be interesting to see how it all works out in the points. 31st, 32nd, and 33rd go to James Grahula, Woody Mahan, and David Control Altman. Brian Yazik in 34th. 35th is George Adams. And in 36th...
Disregard.
Okay, don't...
Disregard.
Okay. Just had to rub it in. Sean, do we have anybody to talk to here? Oh, Joe Branch is there. Go ahead and let's talk to Joe.
Yeah, let's do it. Go, Soup.
Joe Branch, congratulations. 51 races. You pick up your second one. You had one in Milwaukee, but this one, woo! Was there any doubt you had enough fuel?
I was saving for a long time. I thought I could make it, but I knew I had to save the entire stint. So, was there some doubt? Yes, especially when the cars I was drafting with and trying to save off of pitted, and then I was wondering if I was going to be able to maintain the pace and still stay there. But pulled it out.
Yeah, they came in earlier. You pitted. I believe you pitted one lap later than the leaders. Do I have my notes right? Is that your take on it?
Oh, yeah, one or two.
Yep.
One on some guys for sure, and I think two on some. I had good pace, so that helped. All our adrenaline guys were fast tonight, so it was fun. Yeah, had the blood flowing a little bit.
We talked about you a lot. It seems like every time we check in on you, you were in a battle. I don't know if you felt this way as well. It seemed like Justin Weaver was always around you, in front of you for one time or the other. You were it wasn't an easy race.
No, Justin drove clean. I drove him clean. We battled back and forth. I think we worked together a lot too, really just trying to keep our momentum up.
Got it.
Once we realized, there wasn't going to be pulling away from each other. We was just trying to keep momentum through 1 and 2 and pulled it out. Plastic Dip Garage. 120, whatever the mileage is. It was a fun race.
I've been there with you. 120 laps, 150 miles. They fooled me as well. Hey, congratulations on the win. Way to go, buddy.
Appreciate it. I'd like to thank Plastic Dip for helping out with the race, and also personal sponsor of mine, Apex Infotech, for helping me out with a number of things. So that's it.
All right, we'll see you down the road. Your winner today, Joe Branch, as he finishes at the top of the chart. Another driver on the same strategy, we'll let Sean talk to him, is Mike Goodman.
Yeah, let me talk to my fellow New Yorker here and celebrate with him a little bit. Mike, that was one heck of a race, buddy. And boy, the finish there. What was? First of all, when did you decide you had to start saving fuel to get to the finish?
When I pitted right before the green flag came out, I said, "All right." So I was just driving, and what I was doing a lot of was I was just really coasting it through turn 1 and 2, letting off the gas completely, downshifting into from 6th into 4th, just letting it roll out, and just basically flat-footing it on the straightaways and stuff like that. But I was probably saving with maybe 10 laps into the run. I wind up saving, and right before I crossed the start-finish line, I was out. And I couldn't believe it. I was wow.
So she burped on you coming across the line, basically.
Yeah.
Wow. What a finish, man. What a race. The way this thing started out, we could pick up those 5 cautions pretty quick, and then, then we get off and running. And boy, it was really competitive out there. What makes this track such a challenge, Mike?
To be honest with you, I'm really not a fan of it. I mean, it's close confines, everything's tight, and cars were going 3 wide on the the front and the back stretch, and in turn 3 and 4, they were side by side and stuff like that. I was really just fortunate because when I stayed out to lead a lap, I was hoping that a lot more cars would have stayed out and no one else stayed out. And after that, I was really just, I don't know, I was just pitting almost at every single time, hoping that, if we had to make green flag pit stops, I could stay out a couple of laps. Maybe someone would screw up coming off of pit road. And, really, what could I say? This was just pure luck. I mean, honestly, it was pure luck. I mean, can't write this.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, I know there were a couple of really close moments, you avoiding cars out there on some of those cautions we had. You're in a pretty good battle in the team championship here, chasing Adrenaline Motorsports, and they finished right around you, 1 and 3. And so the point's going to be good for the team, but probably not going to be close enough to really close the gap on Adrenaline with their big finish tonight. We talked about one of your team members being out this evening. You guys were down Galvin, and that's got to hurt because he's been pretty consistent this season. But Jason and George tried to hold their own, and you put in a tremendous show this evening. And congratulations, you're definitely deserved, my friend.
Thanks, Sean. And before you kick me out the door, I just want to say, Jason, great teammate. Actually, all the guys on the team are great, but Jason Galvin, I know he always talks highly of me when he's on the interview and stuff like that, and he's a great teammate. I hope he's enjoying the ball game, because I would be at the ball game too instead of racing. I mean, who wouldn't be? And as far as those Adrenaline guys, I mean, they were strong tonight. I mean, they were 4 in the top 5 or 3 in the top 4 in qualifying and stuff like that. But that's why we do these races, because you don't know you don't know what's going to happen. And the big man upstairs must have been looking down on me on something. I must have done something good, because couldn't make this up. This was just like out of nowhere.
Well, hey, enjoy it till next week when we head back to the road course in Donington there. So soak this one up and enjoy it for a few. And yeah, Mike, think about it. We almost wound up at a World Series together. We might have been able to see a game together.
Yep, definitely. And again, I just want to thank you and Soup. Phenomenal job with the broadcasting. I want to thank First Medical for sponsoring. all the league admins. They do a phenomenal job. And yeah, you can tell I'm excited, even though I didn't win, but I don't even care. Finish second's good, but I feel great right now. And thanks again.
All right, Mike. We'll see you next week. Thanks a lot, buddy.
Thank you. Right.
All right, and that was Mike Goodman, the driver to number 99, DW12. And now I'm going to talk to Chris Stouffer real quick, our third place finisher this evening, our second Adrenaline Motorsports driver on the podium. Boy, Chris, you have to take that late pit stop for a splash and go, but it does still work out for you. Get on the podium. You could have won this thing, but the guys ahead of you were able to save a little bit of fuel. Were you trying to save fuel at all?
No, I wasn't trying to save fuel with where I was at. That it's just wild that a caution never came out, and I was only about one lap short. But I knew I wasn't going to be able to save that lap when I realized it, and so I was just hoping for a caution.
Man, that was an exciting race tonight. A lot of action on track during the first half of this race. I could see where you had hoped or at least planned for maybe another caution flag. Tell us about the early stages of that race and what it was like trying to work through some of that traffic.
Well, there's only a couple times I actually had a little bit of traffic in front of me, but the guys that I was racing with, they were pretty respectful because they knew that we were all on a fresh tire, so I thought they gave a lot of room and everything. But yeah, I really expected there to be another caution there, as many as we had in the early going.
Well, Chris, as far as the championship battle goes, and in the team championship, you really helped your team a lot this evening. You and Joe getting Adrenaline Motorsports here up on the podium get you a little bit of separation from AGR Motorsports, and that's got to feel good as far as the driver standings go. Obviously, this doesn't hurt you at all. I mean, you let's see, you're right behind Michael Gray. He didn't make it tonight. Bob Mikas with a decent run. Brian Yazik had trouble early. Galvin was out this evening. Grahula had trouble early. This is a good night for you. You're going to move up in every sense of the form. What are you looking forward to heading to Donington?
I'm going to put in a lot of practice for Donington. Overall, I'm pretty happy about tonight. I can't not be. I mean, I still finished third. Got my first pole, which I was real surprised with that pole there. Don't even ask me where that came from. I'm typically qualify mid-pack, but Donington, I'm going to put a lot of time in. I've ran that track a lot with the GT3 cars, so it's just going to be transitioning over to the DW12 here, and then hopefully I'll have enough speed I'm hoping for a top 10. I'll be happy with that.
Well, and we're happy to see you finish on the podium this evening. Congratulations, and we'll see you next week, my friend.
Thank you.
All right, Soup, that was Chris Stouffer, our third place finisher tonight. I think you're going to close it out with Pierre Degla.
Yeah, we'll bring him in. Pierre, I watched the Animal Channel a lot where I like the alligators that lurk under the water and then they spring out and they grab the wildebeest. And what happened? We were watching you hiding under the water back there about a lap down. I thought you were going to steal one.
Yeah, I thought so too. For a long time, I was like, I may be on the winning strategy. Unfortunately, in the end, I got outsmarted by Joe Branch and all the guys that made it. But it was intense. I've just drank 2 full bottles of water. I'm soaked. I'm probably gonna have to take a shower after this. It was a fun race. It was so much fun.
couple good results for you. Put this one in than what you had last time out of Chicagoland. You've been hot.
Yeah, I needed a couple of good finishes. I had a good first half of the season, and then it just fell off after Milwaukee. And I'm happy. Two strong finishes in a row. I'll take that and carry the momentum to the finale all the way to Homestead to Auto Club.
All right, Pierre, we'll watch you. You got a couple road courses and the oval at the end. Good luck to you the rest of the way.
Thanks, Soup.
Pierre Daigle, your 5th place qualifier. Okay, that's going to do it here for us on the Global Sim Racing Channel. We'd like to thank this sponsor. They've been the source of medical supplies and equipment in the Burlington, Iowa area for years because of their superior commitment to provide the absolute best product and quality customer service. And of course, I'm talking about First Medical Equipment. For more information, please visit firstmedequipment.com. How about HPP simulations? You know, nothing beats the feel of a true, authentic hydraulic braking system in the world of sim racing, designed and manufactured right here in the United States of America on state-of-the-art CNC equipment. HPP's hydraulic pedals and their accessories set the standard for simulation racing. For more information, please visit a very logical website, hppsimulation.com.
Folks, the holidays are coming up. Get some meat in your life. Von Hansen's Meats. We want to thank them for sponsoring the Countdown to Green, the new old-fashioned meat market and butcher shop. We also want to thank Lock Precision Rocketry for sponsoring the post-race shows. Fly hard, fly safe, fly lock. Special thanks to everyone at the Lionheart IndyCar Series for organizing this and contracting with GSRC to broadcast it. We also want to thank our very special race sponsor this evening, Adam Strahan here, our PlasticDipGarage.com, the man. We want to thank him and his sponsorship of the broadcast this evening.
Great to have him as a sponsor. Not a great night for the plastic dip drivers, though. Thanks to the company's equipment and software that you see on the screen right now that we use on the broadcast. The original music you've heard on today's show, well, that's thanks to two guys, Casey Lalonde and Eric Ekholm. See the screen for how to contact each of them.
You know, when I boo-booed earlier, and I'm going to correct that now, the Lionheart IndyCar Series will return in 2 weeks. Yes, 2 weeks. It'll be November the next time we see you, November 8th to be exact, for the Big Joe Show, the Big Joe Show Anniversary 100 from Donington. GSRC will be there, and we hope you join us. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, your best bet is globalsimracingchannel.com. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel and Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel. If you just type that into the search bar, you will find us. I guarantee it.
You going to enter the Big Joe Show Anniversary 100 as well, Sean?
We'll see, Soup. Maybe, okay?
All right.
We'll take a run at it.
Finally, on behalf of the man I've been teasing all night, Sean Crackers Ambrose, Lord knows he doesn't deserve it. Amjad Yaman, our director, he tolerates us. Dougie Beard, the wisest man of all, because he's never around for these broadcasts. I'd like to thank all of you for watching. With that said, we're off to have fun storming the castle. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.